What's kicking, guys? HitmonScott here, and I am back for week 1 of the GPL, the Generations Pokemon League. If you're as excited as I am, make sure to show some love to that like button down below. I can't speak today. So, I had a little bit of recording issue with the battling this week. Literally just as I was about to go into the battle with PC Bloodmaster himself, I realized my OBS wasn't able to screen capture the internet browser for whatever reason. It didn't work on either one of my OBS's. Anyway, it was really weird, but we did do the battle. The battle went through and everything. So I'm going to do a bit of post commentary this week, and then next week I did figure out a way I'm going to make it work. It's a little weird, but it should work just fine, so I think it'll be okay. So you guys are going to see a bit of post commentary here. I'm going to try to go like turn by turn. That way you guys can kind of get a good idea of what happened. I can explain kind of my thought processes. Yeah, so basically looking at his team first off, I did expect the Mega Gallade, I did expect the Tapu Fini, and the Goodra, and the Togekiss, and the Jirachi. I was pretty much bang on. The only thing I didn't get was the Electros. I thought the Electros was really weird. I thought he was going to bring Volcanion as opposed to the Electros. Everything else I put bang on, so I was really prepared for his team. And just overall, I felt quite confident that I was going to be able to take him out. So that was my thought going into it. I looked at his team, and I was like, okay, I got this. I can figure out the plays. I can kind of work around his team. So we're going to move turn by turn here. So I lead off, I believe, the Crobat, and he goes with his Mega Gallade. So my first thought here was, okay, I know I'm going to outspeed the Mega Gallade, and my thought was if he led or he brought a Mega Gallade for whatever reason, he had Fake Out to get some kind of priority against Crobat since he's weak enough as is. I was just going to, I put, what's the thing, Inner Focus as his ability. So I was like, okay, Inner Focus is perfect, won't be able to flinch me out, and I can just go ahead and attack him with whatever one. So I was thinking Brave Bird, turn 1, take out this Mega Gallade, and that would be a huge advantage turn 1. So we go ahead, I go for a Brave Bird, but he switches out, and he goes into the Electros, which is very unfortunate for me, but we did get, I think it was a critical hit turn 1, we did buttload of damage. So I would just go ahead and U-turn out of there and bring in Porygon 2, because I know whatever this thing wants to hit me with, I'm just going to eat right up. It's going to be yummy. I expected a Volt Switch, so I figured whatever he brings in, I'm going to have some kind of initiative because I'm going to have the Tri-Attack, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt. So if he wants to go into Togekiss, I have the T-Bolt or the Ice Beam. If he came into Goodra, because he was being AV, I have the Ice Beam, which is super effective against him. I had the Thunderbolt for the Tapu Fini. I felt really well prepared for Porygon 2, with Porygon 2. So, sure enough, he does go for the Volt Switch. I believe he goes into Jirachi. No, he goes back into his Gallade. So here, this turn right here, guys, was the deciding turn, in my opinion, of how the match was going to go. And it was so early on, too. Like, this was crazy. And that's not implying, like, I win or he wins. This is just in general, like, this turn, like, really swung things one way or the other, and it really made some plays crucial. So we go ahead, he used Drain Punch, which I knew we could live, and I go for a Tri-Attack. We get 57% and a freeze, meaning that if he stays frozen, which he does, we can Tri-Attack one more time and take out the Mega Gallade, which was the biggest of issues for us in the GSL last year. So he brings his Atlas to Jirachi, and I'm like, okay, I know I can eat up whatever Jirachi wants to give. It's probably going to be an Iron Head, so I switch into my Arcanine, which I know I can eat right up, and I can get Rocky Helmet damage off of this thing, because I know it can stall out. I thought it would have like Wish and Toxic and all that, and I was really upset. But no, so he switches out, expecting the Flare Blitz or some kind of Fire-type move from Arcanine into his Tap Water, the Tapu Fini, which I love the nickname, by the way. That is absolutely awesome. I do go for the Flare Blitz, though. He resists it, he eats it right up. Now I'm expecting a Water-type move here. This is only last night, but I'm still forgetting some plays. At this point, I think I was expecting some kind of like Hydro Pump or Scald or something. So I think I switch out into Mega Venusaur, Venusaur into Mega Venusaur, I believe. Yeah, so I go into Venusaur here. He goes for Nature's Madness, though, which I was not expecting. I completely forgot that move was a thing, and that was a huge misplay on my part because I all of a sudden was like, crap, he can do 50% to all these big walls that I brought. Just like that, 50% of my HP gone. So I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. I think he's going to switch, so I go for a Synthesis right here because I need to get HP back on my Venusaur. I just can't. And sure enough, he goes in the Goodra, which I'm like, okay, this is my play. Here's what I'm going to do. Porygon 2, sack it off, because I don't need it at this point. It would be useful, but I can just get rid of it. And luckily enough, he goes for the Outrage, guys. He went for the Outrage, which I was so excited because I'm like, okay, my Arcanine has Outrage. His Outrage is not going to kill me. He's going to take Rocky Helmet damage, and then I get to Outrage him. But here is the kicker. I outspeed. So I hit an Outrage first, do only 49%, which initially I was like, oh man, 49, it does not kill with the second Outrage. But luckily, Rocky Helmet comes in clutch. Brings him down to, I believe it was like 34%. I was gonna say 43, it was 34. So I get my second Outrage off, and boom, down goes the Goodra, which was my biggest threat. So once the Goodra went down, I was feeling a lot better. I didn't care that Serenity was coming in and doing her thing, that's fine. So he goes T-Waves me, I'm not really sure why he didn't just take me out. Anyway, he goes for a Wish, and he does get the Wish off. Aura Sphere takes out the Arcanine, which that's fine. The whole reason the Arcanine was there was to take out the Goodra. So I was good with that. Anyway, so he accurately predicts, I don't know what he predicted. Might have been Tail Slap, might have been Rock Blast, whatever. He predicted right. He went into Jirachi, and Jirachi's just gonna eat up this Rock Blast, which I was like, I hope he keeps Togekiss in, so I can just Rock Blast this thing and get it the heck out of here. But he predicts well, so I have to swap on out, go into Mega Venusaur, and he T-Waves me, which ends up being crucial later on. Then he goes for a Zen Headbutt, but luckily I live it and get the HP Fire off and bring that Jirachi down to a mere 24%. So he goes for Zen Headbutt. I was expecting for an Iron Head, try to flinch, so I went into Celesteela. I was thinking, okay, Celesteela can take up any hit this thing wants unless it has Fire Punch, which I was kind of expecting it not to because, what was I going to say? I was expecting not to Fire Punch because I expect Electros to have Flamethrower and Goodra to have Fire Blast, so I didn't expect a third Fire type move. Especially when it's not Stab, so I really thought I could eat anything up he wanted. So he goes for the Zen Headbutt, I eat it right up, get the lefties back, and I'm sitting really pretty here with almost a full HP Celesteela. Now, he paralyzes me. Once again, that para is going to matter later on, guys. Make sure you watch that. So, Heavy Slam, it does not quite take with the Jirachi. I'm super upset about that. Oh, excuse me, I should have gone for the Air Slash. I think I would have had a better chance. But that's okay, he goes for an Iron Head, and he flinches me out. I'm like, oh my god, this is how it's gonna go. It's gonna be the para flinch. But luckily, he swaps out, Tap Water, and Heavy Slam goes and does a big 39%. Only 39%. I thought it would do so much more than that. So I go to Crobat here. I'm hoping to get off a Cross Poison on this thing is my plan. But my backup here, which works really, really well, as you'll see in a second. So my backup was, if Cross Poison doesn't go off because I hit Atlas, which he swapped into accurately, which is fine because he was expecting a Poison type move, I can just go in for a U-turn, kill it, and I know I'm going to be able to live after Life Orb damage. What I wasn't expecting, though, was he has Rocky Helmet. So it does some damage, but I somehow managed to live on 4%, which is absolutely insane. And that, once again, comes in clutch a little bit later on, I think. So I bring in Chinchino because I know I can outspeed anything, and at this point, I think I can take out anything with Chinchino. And nothing he has can outspeed me because nothing's Scarfed. So Electros, I just go for the Bullet Seed because I know it can't miss. So I go with that, take out the Electros, no problem. Problem is now he goes into Serenity, so I'm forced to switch because I'm banded. So I go into Celesteela because I know I can take anything this wants to throw at me, and I'm already paralyzed. That's my sister. So here's Para turn 1. And then he goes for an Aura Sphere. And here's, oh, Toxic. Oh, no, I'm thinking later on, never mind. Okay, that was a little preface. So I get Toxic off, which is crucial. Basically at this point, I just want to Toxic all these things. So there's Para turn 1. I think this is where the run starts. So he swaps out and Tapu Fini. I'm going for a Heavy Slam at this point. Oh no, go for Leech Seed. I'm getting everything all mixed up. That's fine. So I get the Leech Seed off. Tapu Fini goes, it's Nature Madness, which I'm really scared for now because I'm at half HP. But I get the lefties and the Leech Seed, which is huge. So I know I can stall this thing out for a little bit. So I've already got one para. And then there's the second para. So now I'm getting a little worried because my HP is getting a little on the low side here. So I'm going to go for a Heavy Slam, just try to do a big bunch of damage to this thing. I get paralyzed for a third turn in a row, guys. 3 paras in a row. But luckily I have Toxic off. He's just wishing away, and I get paralyzed for a 4th turn in a row. So I'm just getting no luck here. He goes for an Aura Sphere, big Aura Sphere, and I get paralyzed for a 5th turn in a row. I got 5 paras in a row at the end game. And I'm starting to freak out. Like, is this how the game's going to go for me? I'm going to lose just because of para hacks. But luckily I do get a Leech Seed off in this Togekiss, which means he's probably going to be forced to switch out, especially with Toxic damage and Leech Seed damage. But he goes for a Wish, but luckily I get the Heavy Slam off and take this thing out. At this point, guys, I feel very, very confident. Even if he takes out the Celesteela and he takes out the Venusaur, I can just, I think, come in with the Chinchino and Bullet Seed and take this thing out. That's my thought. So, Tapu Fini goes for a Soak on the Celesteela, which I'm like, oh my god, I need to get this thing out of here now. Because now it doesn't resist the Moonblast. Moonblast is going to do tons, and I'm more physically defensive than specially, so I really need to be careful here. So he goes with the Soak, and he gets his wish come true. So he's now a full Tapu Fini against my pretty much broken team. So I go ahead and swap out into Crobat just to take a hit. So Moonblast kills him, which that would give me a perfect opportunity for a switch in. So that was so crucial. That's what I'm saying. Crobat came in clutch. So I get a Sludge Bomb off, does 54%. We do not get a poison though, and that's fine. I'm just saying at this point, if I can get one more off, I'm good. And luckily, so he goes for a soak, and I break through the paralysis, but my Sludge Bomb does not take him out. I get a low roll, and he ends up living, which I'm very, very upset about. So he lived on 10, he's now at 16 HP, or 16%. And here we go. So he goes for a Moonblast, I live it, special attack drops, but I break through the paralysis and take out the Tapu Fini, guys. That is, woo, I just hit my laptop. That is week 1, guys. So your Halifax Hitmontops take week 1 over the PC Bloodmasters, or PC Bloodmasters. I'm forgetting your team name, bro. I'm so sorry. I suck at this. Yeah, so we win 3-0. I think Celesteela was definitely clutch for that game. Was able to stall some things out. Heavy Slam definitely had a big factor, and Toxic definitely helped taking out that Togekiss, because that would have been a problem with the Wish. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check the link down below. Check out Nick's side of the battle, because he's doing post commentary as well this week. And I'm sure it's gonna be great. I'm gonna watch it. I want to know what his thought processes were. But that was kind of mine. Is I knew like about halfway through Celesteela was my win condition, and I need to keep that thing alive. And sure enough, it came in clutch. And Chinchino was my backup, so I was never really too worried because I had Bullet Seed, Rock Blast. I never even got Tail Slaps off. But that was it, guys. So make sure you love that like button down below. Make sure to subscribe to join the Hitmon community, and never miss our next video. Keep on kicking, guys. HitmonScott. Peace out.